remember to sign up on Patreon. Not only is this a Patreon request, it's a Flood My Channel request. Julian Assange. Obviously, that's who we're doing today. His interview with Hannity. I do not like doing people that fight corruption. One, when you get people that are like this and they're not so worried about hiding their deception, more of their psyche comes out and you see all their deep secrets. And I definitely don't want to help give that away. We are going to hit on a few key things, especially that Russian hack question. And we will skip through it because this is almost an hour-long interview, which means me talking through it will make this even longer. But I'll put a video link in the description for this. Let's get started.
Ask you again today. Did Russia give you this information or anybody associated with Russia?
Our source is not a state party, so...
Right as he answers this question, we see his body moving in that singing song.
The answer for our interactions is no. But if we look at...
And he digs into that with that down with it. It's no. So his body's singing with it. He's digging into it. He's not going to budge from that.
The most recent statement by the US government, which was on the 29th of December. Okay, we had 5 different branches of government, Treasury, DHS, FBI, White House, presenting their accusations to underpin...
And you see how his eyebrows go up and down. It's what the believe me look is supposed to be. It's supposed to just emphasize words, and I'm being serious with you, believe this. I'm not trying to deceive you. Listen to my words. Listen to my body, not just my face.
Obama's throwing out 35 Russian diplomats.
That's like the period on the end of a sentence. The little head move that we're seeing going on. Watch one more time.
Obama's throwing out 35 Russian diplomats. What was...
Besides being the period on the end of a sentence, it's like he's saying it in the terms of, and his body is saying, this is the peak of the accusations. Obama's throwing out 35 diplomats.
Missing from all of those statements, the word WikiLeaks. It's very strange. Now, my interpretation is that there's either...
the Russian government to influence the election. Is that true in any way, shape, manner, or form?
No, that's absolutely false. And if you read their statements carefully, you'll see they don't actually say that. They kind of mention one fact here and one fact there and nothing else. In the most up-to-date information, on the 29th of December, where the FBI...
His body is still singing.
DHS, White House, etc. made a statement. What is completely absent from all those statements is WikiLeaks.
Talk to Vladimir Putin?
No.
Have you ever talked to any of his surrogates?
No.
Have you ever talked to Donald Trump?
No.
Any of his surrogates?
No.
Not one?
No.
There was some report that...
Well, as weird as that was to watch, have you ever talked? Have you ever talked? Have you ever talked? And the multiple people that he was asked, did he ever talk to them? We don't actually get to see a full anything. It's literally a split second of an answer and no, and that is it.
You might have talked to somebody who was not associated with the campaign, Roger Stone.
No, that's false. I think where this Roger Stone claim is coming from is there's a radio guy on WBAI, which is a mutual friend.
When he goes shifty like that, he even protects even his friends. He's talking about the media and Clinton's collusion or corruption with each other. I just felt this was important to point out. Let's watch it first.
They're not identifying it to their audiences. They claim that they're objective journalists.
It's ethically corrupt. Corrupt by its... Corruption also means something in law, which is that you're taking money in exchange.
Okay.
So I don't think that...
Collusion.
They're colluding, yeah.
Okay. But
Kind of relaxed on that too. They're colluding. You saw his shoulders kind of drop in on that. They're colluding because he's tripping over the word. He doesn't want to call it corrupt. He's very careful when he speaks. He's careful when he's talking about his sources. He's careful when he pretty much talks about anything that would give substance to anything. It's what Obama does. It's what a lot of the people that we've watched do when they do that thing or they're stumbling on their words. They're being very careful with their words. And that's exactly what he's doing. He's being very careful with his words.
Because they share her political agenda. Well, why else would they?
And then, see that? He's like, but he's okay in his mind, his body, and his face. He doesn't have to hide the fact that he's trying to be careful with his words. He's purposely saying it. I don't want to use the word corruption. Let's go with colluding. And he can outwardly say that in his body. That's why his body is still singing with him as he does that. Because he's not trying to manipulate it into deception. Let's be careful with my words and have lawyers speak.
Collude, or they hate Donald Trump.
I think that's an optimistic interpretation, that they share the political agenda.
Well, explain that.
It's more like you rub.
And you see him look out on it. It's too bad we can't see a full, a forward face on it, but it's a good, it's good enough angle. You see, we're watching his body as it is negotiating the minefields of which English word to use and explaining to Hannity why we want to use this word and not another one.
My back, I'll rub yours. I'll give you, I'll give you information. You'll come to my.
And as we watch him do this, and he's thinking it up, we can say this is his opinion. This isn't something he read about. This is his opinion based on what he has seen. This is not a concrete paragraph that he's read.
What is the line?
There's that hands together moment. He is snaking through.
And now in the New York Times, MSNBC. Okay. The line is that WikiLeaks changed.
And he literally makes a line with his hands when he does this. It is so hard to sit there and find really honest people without actually, giving away dirty secrets.
The result of the election. Okay. And as editor of WikiLeaks, we're quite happy to have the credit for exposing the corruption and behavior that was occurring in that Clinton team.
And watch his hands, a little bit that we can see of his hands. They come together and they go around in a circle, occurring. He's enveloping what was occurring.
And the DNC fixing things in relation to Bernie Sanders, we're quite happy to accept that.
And then his hands go up around, open. We're quite happy. And it goes out like he's grabbing. Quite happy. This is holding happiness.
Was that your motivation? Was your motivation to influence the election? Or is your motivation, what is your motivation? Is it fidelity to truth?
My motivation for maybe 20 years, but 10 years with WikiLeaks has been to publish true information that is otherwise unsayable. So we're not in competition, if you like.
You have no political agenda.
That is a political agenda. We have no.
And it's good there because he won't lie to himself. That is a political agenda. And it is. I used to not like Julian Assange back when I was sheeple, and I actually liked George Bush because he would publish so much on George W. Bush. And I may not agree completely with Julian on everything, but I can appreciate someone who is truthful to themselves.
Government corruption?
It's not a party political agenda. It's a philosophical agenda. We believe that the best type of government comes from.
See how high he brought that hand up to his face?
It's not a party political agenda. It's a philosophical agenda. We believe.
It's really, it's how high it's going up. He's talking about his belief system. And so it's like a higher power. His belief, we believe, he's talking about his higher power. That's why it is so high.
That the best type of government comes from a government that is scrutinized by the people when they have true information about how government and major corporations, other power actors in society actually behave.
Let me ask this. As a conservative, have you made conscious decisions as the founder and editor to withhold information because you thought the release of such information would result in somebody's death? In other words, means,
No.
methods.
He just asked that question, and I want you to watch Assange's head shake as he's asking the question.
Because you thought the release of such information would result in somebody's you thought the release of such.
See that little, and it's very small, and it's just a one nod down. Try to see it one more time.
Such information would result because you thought the release of such information.
See it?
The US case started first in 2010. Okay. The situation where we are today.
These were two Swedish women.
There's the women did not make the allegations. So the state made the allegations. It's
And there we see him stumbling for his accusers, being very careful in his wording. I really like showing you his body language as far as, as him being a truth teller, because it just sings and everything flows together, and he makes it big enough. I really don't have to point it out to you. You can see it.
Look, the Barr administration is maintaining this massive case against us. It's refusing to release any documents about it to us or any other journalists, erecting a giant dam for all the.
And unfortunately, we can't see any of this because the video has gone bad. So we'll end it here. I've decided that I'm going to do a face-to-face, but I thought it would be fun to make a video of me deceiving and telling you the truth. But at the end of the video, give you the answers of, did you get this right? Did you pick out? I thought that would be fun. I'm not doing it right now, but it's something to look forward to. I'm booked up all the way into February and almost all the way through February for a request. Unless you're a patron on Patreon, then your stuff gets moved up and something gets bumped. March? Sometime in March anyways. I figure that's a good enough time. If you liked it, leave a like. If you like the content, please subscribe. Thank you for watching.